This is B-roll footage. That's going to be A-roll footage. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to talk about the Warrior Guarding Salute. Today I'm going to talk about the Guardian Warriors. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about the Warrior Guarding Solutions Bang Hnager. I was going to kind of do a review on this a while back, but when I started editing the video, I was going to do some other stuff with it too. It just kind of got long and boring, and so I'd come back to it, and now I'm here. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, what I think about it, and you guys can go try it out if you want. I think it's funny they sent me a broken screw. I just think it's funny. I'm not digging it, or I'm not knocking them or anything. It works well. They'll probably go in the end with the broken screw. All right, so what do you get out of the Bang Hnager here? I actually bought the QLS system separate. So I already had one, I put it on there. And it works really well with just the QLS system. It comes with this stiffener that goes behind it. Or I'm assuming it goes behind it, since there weren't any directions that came with it. And then it comes with these three screws and a washer that you can just put anywhere. It fits on a 2 1/4 inch belt. So you kind of have the washer through there, back of the screw, and then you just kind of screw it onto the belt. This was a pretty interesting idea. I actually kind of liked it to an extent. I'm not really all that. In a way, I was kind of thinking this was going to be a lot more than it really was. It was nice to an extent. This really keeps everything close to your body, and I really like that. I don't like my holster kind of sticking out. I'm noticing the more I use certain products, the more the holster sticks out. I do kind of like the wilder tactical deal better, but this was really nice. But I think this is more designed for a molly belt than anything else. I ran it on my X belt, and the X belt's pretty thick. Again, it comes with this here that you put right back here, and it keeps it pretty stiff. I actually liked it a lot. It was really stiff. The problem with the stiffener, though, and the way they had it set up, is that it started really bothering me after a day or two. After the second day, I would say. After the second day, I started having some pain in my hip area. And the neighbors are yelling and screaming. Anyways, I had some problems in my hip area, and about 2 years ago, I fell at work and injured my hip. I wish it was something cool, but it was raining, slipped and fell. So a lot of times, sometimes my hip hurts, sometimes it doesn't. And this would just aggravate it, just like this, with the stiffener in there. And again, I'm not using a molly belt or any type of molly attachment. I'm just have it over the belt. And so it would aggravate my hip, and I just take it off. And this was actually really nice without the stiffener. Now here's where here's where the situation I didn't really like that much about it. Without the stiffener, this thing kind of moved around. So if you don't mind it moving around, it reminded me of one of those old leather holsters that just kind of moved. not the ones with the joint in it. I see a lot of motor cops wear, or just depending where assignment where you work. But no, it just felt like it just moved around a lot. And I didn't really like that. Never moved from my belt, but it was nice. You know, I didn't move on my belt at all, but it just moved. It got to the point where it was kind of like a little annoying. So I'll kind of show you here. So with it attached, this is with a Safariland QLS holster. The Safariland ALS holster. As you can see, it works really well with it. Plenty of room. Again, didn't have any issues with it, except for that it just liked to move. And that was it. It does kind of have this thing right here for a leg strap, if you can get one in there. So you can kind of run it like that. Doesn't seem really all that hard to get in there, even with the. You may want to run it before you put in there. Put one in there if you're going to run a leg strap on it. You can have it down to. You could also lower it down. That's one thing I kind of liked about it. One down if you want. I kind of like the mid-ride, and this was the way I have it set up. These screws up at the top, this screw in the middle, and it just works for me as a mid-ride, as you can see. The one thing I will say about this system is make sure you use the Loctite that came with. Make sure you use the Loctite that comes with it, or if you have your own Loctite. Again, I only ran this for 2 weeks. The goal was to give you my impression of different, a couple of the belt loop attachments for a couple of the belt loop attachments out there that I was using. Again, it was going to be one big video. Wore everything for 2 weeks. Editing the video, it just got really boring, and if it gets boring for me, I don't like to edit. So if it's boring for me, it's probably going to be boring for you. But just make sure if you do run it, I didn't run it with any Loctite. Again, after the second day, I took this off. Actually, probably the third day I took this off. And just ran it. And again, it was just way too, it was just really loose. It just, no. So there's some other stuff coming to market this year. If you haven't been paying attention to SHOT Show, other belt loop attachments coming out there. Safariland's coming out with their new holster, the Ballast, which is they also have a redesigned universal belt loop, which looks really interesting. The Blaytech also has a redesign on their duty drop, the one that I kind of run right in here. They actually redesigned this to be a lot thinner, which looks interesting. I'll probably pick one up. But as far as this goes, I think it just depends on what you like. Personally, I didn't really like the wiggle in it. I do like how close it fits to your body on the duty belt. I really like that. The only other one I really like is the Wild Tactical. The only other one I like is the Wild Tactical, and that one I really like. Unfortunately, the plastic pieces, unfortunately the Kydex on there just really, I don't know, on the leather belts doesn't seem to be all that. It might be me, but it just seemed really like it'd be ripped off. But on the nylon belts, it kind of squeezes together and it's really solid. But again, it's kind of separated. So hopefully with the new version, they kind of fix that. Hopefully, I don't know. I haven't got the new version out yet, and I don't know if I'm going to. But I like if you're running one of these and you're running it in I could totally see this in being a lot more comfortable, especially with the stiffener in it, in a molly belt. If you're going to run a regular X belt or a regular duty belt from Bianchi, I don't know, unless you don't mind your gun moving all the time. It is comfortable without the stiffener, but it does move around a lot. And if you're going to use it, make sure you use a Loctite. When I took this off my belt, a lot of the screws on there were really were about to come off. So luckily I was kind of done with it. So let's talk about the sticker. I know it's a wrap, but I'm going to call it a sticker. You could buy these. I decided to buy one because I wanted just to look black. I didn't want it to look this color, and I wanted to be very just look normal. Looks the black. I'm not really good at putting on stickers. As you can see, it looks a little off, especially down here. And I'm just going to say that I probably could have cut this portion off and just put the top portion on instead of putting the whole thing on like I did. If you get, I would. The sticker worked pretty well. I didn't really the wrap on it worked really well. I didn't have any issues with it. It just, to me, it just felt a little complicated. Again, I'm not good at putting stickers on stuff, and it's a little off. But I bet if you cut probably this portion off here on this before you put it on, it'd be a lot easier just covering up this portion here. Down here, it just kind of didn't really work out that well. What am I going to do with, and so as far as a Warrior Guardian Solutions thing goes, can I recommend it? That's going to be up to you. I think that if you're willing to take the chance and take the risk, go for it. Again, go for it. It sits really close to your body, which I like. I would sit there and, if you're if you're wearing a molly belt and you're able to, and you want to try it out, I would try it on a molly belt. I am not going to go out and invest in a molly belt. I actually have one, but I already have it set up the way I want it. I'm not going to take everything off and throw this on there. But yeah, I would, if you're curious about it and you have the extra cash, I'd go check it out. For me, I'm probably going to stick with something, either the new Safariland. I'm going to stick with something different. I'm not going to stick with this just because one, it goes over a next belt, going over my belt. It really, the stiffener really just didn't help at all. Again, it just put pressure on my hip, which I don't really want. And two, I didn't like it how loose it was. So again, it's going to be what you guys want.
My thought is, I like the Wilder. If I had to pick between my thoughts on this is, I think it's a good idea. The Warrior Guardian solution is onto something, but it's just not for me. I think officers from other, I think it's just not for me. I think other people would like it. I think that it's a good idea. It's minimalist. If you want, you can adjust it. If you want to drop a different drop it down more. I think it's a good idea, but again, it's just not for me, and I'm not going to be wearing it. Maybe if I do get a molly belt, maybe one day I get another molly belt, maybe I'll try it with that. But I'm just, as of right now, I'm not really interested. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. What do you think of, if you have one of these, let me know how you're running it. If you're running it on a molly belt, if you're running it on a regular belt, if you're using the stiffener on here. I'm kind of curious to know. So anyways, if you like the channel, I appreciate it. Anyways, thank you for watching the video, and have a safe one out there. Actually, I want to redo the ending. So anyways, thank you for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.